You see, part of the podcast, this is my dialogue with my daughter. It's her idea. And I'm more than happy to chat. She's asking questions in behalf of her friends. And I'm not sitting here as an authority. I'm sitting here simply to provoke a thinking process. Even though I've spent a lifetime studying these areas, um, I founded the Institute for the Higher Learning. We do a lot of work on this subject. But having said all that, which is on a way to becoming a university now, but it's a dialogue. We're just talking over almost carelessly. Not too careless, casually, maybe that's the word. So I don't know what is the subject she's going to ask. So you're going to hear me and her respond very casually, and I hope you keep that in mind and hope it brings some value to you. Okay, madam? What is the question today?
Okay, so today it's a fun topic actually.
Okay. I am the man for fun.
For fun.
No.
It's about finding the magic. And the word magic, we use it in a light way, like we're not talking about wizardry or anything like that. It's in our modern day, things have become so serious. So serious. And we have strayed away from looking from that idea of looking for the little magic in everyday life, in all the little joys. Why do you think that's happened?
What has happened?
Like we have kind of been like pushed away to look for that, that magic that children
Are
have.
we looking for it or not looking for
We're
it?
not looking for
Yeah.
it anymore.
Yeah. You see, it's the difference between when your mother cooks and I eat somebody else's cooking. Your mother's cooking has a magic. What is that magic? I don't know. It defies logic, right? So it's a magic. When I taste it, this is, even when you cook, it doesn't have that magic. I'll always favor your mother's cooking. What is that magic? Probably her intention, probably, I don't know. Because she's cooking. What you are asking, I think, is let not logic kill love. Logic should be a servant to love. Logic shouldn't kill love. Without magic, there is no life. It's like when you were born. It was magic for me. Yes, we know the logical. Your mother got pregnant. You know how that happened. And then 10 months later, you came along. For the doctors, it is just a normal day. Congratulations, sir. You got a daughter. But for me, it was magic. The logic didn't make sense. There was something more than just science. You see, science discovered everything about the flower, the petals and the stigma and the root, but they could not find beauty. Now there is a science coming out called the science of beauty. If you study painting, there is the spiral system, there is the placement. Even in photography, we know how to place it. But this is the science of magic. But it is not magic itself.
Yeah.
It's like a card trick, when a guy takes a card and says, see, I made it disappear, boom, he appears. You go, oh my God. When I tell you the logic, it kills the magic, but not really, The logic explains the magic, but the logic should not kill the magic. If there is no magic, there's only logic. If there is only logic, then there is only mathematics. If there is only mathematics, there is no point for life. You will die. I know when I say magic, it feels like I'm illogical. No, sir. I have the capacity not to let logic kill the magic. I know if I mix yellow and blue, I get green. That is logic. But when I mix it, it gets a shade of green that you cannot duplicate.
That process.
I think what has happened to us is we are trying to kill beauty. We are trying to kill love. We are trying to kill poetry. And we are using logic for it. Science, as much as it's a blessing, it's also a curse, It brings everything down to something. Our body runs on hormone, runs on this, runs on that. Is that all? When they come together, they cannot explain the DNA. We have so many variety. When they come together, it's like I use art as an example. We call something called limited palette. We use 5 paint. Burnt umber, sienna, red, yellow, blue. We use limited palette. Why we use the limited palette? In that limited palette, we try to create the illusion of a full palette. I can also use a full palette and draw a limited palette. So life is magical. You being here is magical. Somebody sitting there watching this is magical. How? How two people meet, how things come together. You see, there is an interest in killing magic, because with logic you can be ruled. With logic you can be made depressed. With logic you can reduce everything to mathematics. With logic, they do something harmful, as though I'm working only for my salary. I have, 60 people working there on the project. Yes, they all get paid, but I tell you for sure, they are working more than for their pay. They are working for the pride of building. They are working to show me when I show up to the site, look what we finished today. Those are the magic. Yes, it borders in the ridiculous. It borders in insanity. I want that insanity. If I look at my wife and I look at my children and I say, that's the most beautiful thing I've seen, the logical guy will say, in what measure? Slap it. That's my business. It's my thing. Again, let me put my point across. Like the Hindus, I use this as an example. We build a statue, we venerate it, and then we say, I see the divine through it. What is wrong? Yes, logically it's a stone, it's granite, it's handmade. But how I look at it, I can see the divine through it. Can it lead to woohoo? Can it lead to some mental issue? Of course, that reveals you have mental issue. But for those who don't have mental issue, there is beauty. You see, if somebody loves you and it's only a reason they love you, that's trade. Somebody loves you and they don't know why they love you. Like this, I will not do this podcast for anybody except you asking me to do. I will not do it. I've been doing this for many, many years. To me, my daughter asking me for people, I will answer. It's a dialogue between a father and his daughter. To me, is it magical? Of course it is.
Even when you're talking about the statue, when we went to India, we went to pick the piece of granite that they would carve into a statue of a god. And the man who carves it was the skinniest man I've ever seen in my life, holding this funny looking little pick to make the statue. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so magical. And they blessed the tool and they blessed the man who did it. And I was like, okay, then logically, he's been doing it for years. That's probably why he's so skinny and that's probably the best tool for it. But there was so much magic.
You know why the prayer they did? Don't let my logic destroy the magic. Yes, I am the carver. I've done this for generation, but don't let me destroy the magic. It's like this, through a sexual act, a child is born. The child being the daughter and one being a father or mother is magical. Cannot quantify. It's beyond. And I'm saying, if you remove that from somebody, it's gone. Like people who work for Master Appa. Everybody, Shalini, Anba, you think they're just working for salary or they're working just because it's a job? You know there is something more. It's almost illogical. It's almost like it doesn't make sense. Like why Bob is so crazy after me.
Bob Marley is one of our dogs.
It's a dog that adopted me. Not that I adopted it. He decided to
live at our home and we sent him home and he came back because
over and over again.
He made a decision.
Over a year plus and now he's my dog. To me, that is magical. I know somebody will explain something. I hope your explanation helps me to understand, but I hope it doesn't destroy my magic. I tell you, try this exercise. It's a very old Tibetan or Zen technique. Look in the mirror until you can see yourself more than the form. Look in the mirror until you can see something more than a form. I know the psychiatrist might say, are you hallucinating? They can be. But for the rest of us who are not hallucinating, for the rest of us, There are poets. The rest of us who can see. Like Krishnamurti used to say this beautifully, I am the rest of mankind. What are you talking about? You're one Indian fellow. Who something happened. No, that's the romance. You understand? I think we cannot live without magic. If your life has no magic, something is wrong. If you're working and in your work there is no magic, in the people you are with there is no magic, that means you cannot explain it only logically. Something more than logic is at play. That is magic. Without that, you cannot live. And there are people who want to destroy your magic because they want to depress you.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think we're often told to think practically and forgo the idea of dreaming and magic? And yes, it's not logical, but it's kind of what makes it worth it.
No, because if you find your magic, nobody can rule you. Nobody can bully you. If you find your magic, nobody can bribe you. So you must understand there is an interest to coerce you. There is an interest to belittle you. I have a photo of you. Maybe you should put it there. No? Where Apshi is doing this. She must have been 10 years old on a speedboat. We were going to an island.
10 years old, I think I was maybe 2 or 3 years old in that picture.
You think so?
With Shani and Amma?
Ah.
Yeah. 3 years old.
I still have it printed up there. Her hands is up there. The boat is speeding and we are going on by and she's going, whoa, to me. That's magical. And I want to remember that moment. I want to emulate that spirit when I get up in the morning to live life. Like, let's do this. You know what has happened to us? We have been brutalized, frightened. We have been made terrified. And by that, we reduce only to survival. And they want to keep us in survival. Magic is prefrontal. Magic is right brain. Magic is right brain, this side, left hand, right brain. Magic is right brain. Magic is creativity. Have you seen all culture move towards magic? Sometimes to the point of ridiculous, but they move. You have the Neptune, god of the ocean. Why did we go there? Right now we poo-poo it. If you see the Egyptian, almost mythological, the pharaohs. No, you need it. Without that, life is unlivable. And it is not hallucination, it is real. I tell a story about your grandmother's elder brother, my mama. I don't know how, your grandfather, I suppose. He loved your grandmother, my mother, crazy. He loved her because he was like 15 years older than her, so he's practically the father. He always jokingly will say, when I die, I want to die in your lap. He's married with kids and everything. When I die, I want to die in your lap. I want to die in your lap. Joking. And he had cancer. And you know how innocent he was? He grabbed my brother, who's a doctor, he grabbed him and he said, did I get this cancer because I drank the beer once in a while? He said, no. Is it because I smoked the cigarette once in a while? My brother said, no. Then it's okay. You must understand his logic. It was liver cancer. He was dying. And they put chemo. He came home. He was in the room with your grandmother and his wife. And suddenly he told his wife, do you mind bringing me some water? So the wife left him, went to bring water. He told my mother to put her on a lap. My mother put her on a lap. He looked into my mother's eyes and he died. What was that? Oh my God. Oh my God. And he's that guy. He can love you despite you. He will like you despite you. He's one of those honorable, one of the most beautiful men I've known. He just looked at my mother. I was not there. He looked at my mother's eyes and he died. Wow. Wow. Magic. A Ferrari, a Porsche, a Bentley, a yacht, a mansion cannot come close. It's like when we were in the yacht, in Mallorca, the silent yacht with Naren Sono. I thought that was amazing. That was not just the yacht, but
it was the ocean.
With the ocean, no, with them.
Yeah.
How they hosted us and how we were with people who cared about it. I always will look at that moment and go like, wow. Wow. Now you go look in the mirror until you find the wow moment. You're telling me you don't have a wow moment? You see, If you ever see yourself only from the left brain, which is the mathematical, you're going to become an accountant, and life is not accounting. Life is magical to the point of ridiculous. If you read Sufi or Hafiz, or if you read Dattatreya or Astavakra, you read any one of them, they are all in the brink of almost lunacy, what they say. I see the Divine Mother, he says, I feel this, I experience God's love. Magic. What is the point? If you are with somebody only logical, if you are with somebody magical,
Do you think the concept of magic needs to always be spiritual?
no. But all magic will have a spiritual note. It doesn't have to be spiritual. Remember, spiritual is another thing people created to bring logic to magic. So be very careful of the spiritual people. They are the left-brained fellas who feel bad, they don't have a right brain, so they come from the back door. But everything magical has a spiritual component to it. If you take Bob's relationship with me, there's a spiritual. When I say spirit, mean it's magical. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't know whether I subscribe to the word spiritual. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But I subscribe to magic. My life is magic. I cannot believe from where I am to where I am now. It's pure magic. Love is magic.
It's like how Jack came.
Yeah, how Jack came.
How I happened to step out of that cafe because the music sucked.
Right.
And he looked at me and he said, "Hey, mommy." And I was like, okay. But it could have been anybody else. Logically, he probably got lost from his mother cat and he needed a home.
Right.
And he just saw me and he could sense I was a sucker. But it was magical.
And that's how you'll find your future husband, and I'll get my grandchildren. It'll all be magical. And that's how it is. You see, magic means what? Magic doesn't deny logic. Magic simply means logic cannot explain it totally. You see, magic doesn't mean you deny logic. That is lunacy. But magic means logic alone cannot define it.
Can we bring magic down to feeling?
No. It's an etheric experience. A feeling is very dangerous. You can hallucinate. An etheric is it's actual. It's like something happens. I look at me and I look at Anba and I look at you and I say, you guys see this? What the hell? It's not a delusionary. It's actual. For me, magic. Let's say Anba is DJing and the crowd is going crazy. And for a moment, we look at each other and go like, That's magic. Everybody is part of it. It is not an isolated, it can be. It's very romantic. But I'm talking about it is grounded in reality, but not dismissed only by logic. It's a living truth. You see, only when it's magical, you can find one person and be enough with it. Logical, you do accounting every year. Right? You fell in love with the person when they were young, 10 years later, they are older. Things change? No. Like I remember seeing your mother come, first time, looking at it. That was it. I think till I die, that picture will stay. I even painted it. Is it stupid? Who said I'm not stupid?
I don't think it's stupid.
No, if somebody says, oh, that's stupid, so be it. I don't care. I am owning my magical moments. You are not going to take it away by explanation. You are welcome to bring logic to it, so I'm more grounded in it. But I'm not going to let you remove it. Like of all the lectures I've given, Apshi, Anba, and I've done thousands and thousands, I think this is quite magical, isn't it? Father, son, Anba, just 3 hours sitting down, chit-chatting. I think...
Son.
Father, daughter.
I could be a son.
No. No. That's not logical. I think I always tell people, I paint a lot, I give them. And I said, might not be a masterpiece, but a piece painted by a master someday might have some value because I painted it with all my heart. It is not my business. It's my passion, my love. It's me saying I love you. That matters too,
I think it's like, even like I read this thing online, but it's like if you want to switch the energy of your day, just do something that's not for you. I was having a bad day and this guy just came and helped me fill up my petrol. And usually I don't have cash on me. I happen to have a bigger bill than I would like to give him. I was It's like, I'm having a bad day. Let me just give it to him. Like that, my day switched. And I
Yeah.
say, oh, that's magic. Maybe it's my
No,
belief.
you became his magic. Listen to this. If you can do an act to help somebody believe in humanity, you are the magic for humanity. It not only has to happen to you, you can happen to them as a magic. You see a homeless man and you just put some money and he looks up and says, thank you, sir, to helping me to be kind today. And for him, you are his magic. Why aren't we being that magic? Why aren't we being that to each other? I'm telling you, we are run by corporate idiots, who only have balance sheet, 3 months, what they will make. They are only that.
Yeah, it's truly beyond logic. I think about the homeless lady. She sat on the church steps, and my friend would always give her a cigarette, and she'd be smoking a cigarette on the church steps, and I would think this is something pretty magical.
Okay, now do this. Do not allow anybody to remove magic. Then all that is left is logic, and logic only leads to depression. It was like, for me, like your grandfather dying, and I was the last person there. I'm holding his hand and say, Dad, we got to do this. Your time has come to die, and he died beautifully. Was it magical? Because I was his favorite son, at least as far as I'm concerned. And at the last moment, it arranged it that I was there. I could have missed it. To me, nobody is taking that away. You might say, Master, you are hallucinating. It's my hallucination, none of your business.
Yeah.
It's mine. And I want everybody to own it. Remember this, you can have all the money in the world. You can have all the accolade. You can have all the achievement. If magic is missing, it's missing.
It's even in the sad moments. When Sagwa died, when Snowy died. These are our childhood cats.
It was
It was magical.
It was magical.
We got to hold her and like comfort her through it. Even with Snowy, I was standing right next to her, and I got to be there.
This is where my voice of reason kicks in, But your logic, your magic must not deny logic.
Yeah.
But your logic must not destroy magic. So it's grounded. Yes, it's your cat for about 18 years.
20 years.
20-year-old cat. It's all right. You have a history. It's not that you walked into a jungle and something happened. You know what I mean? Like this temple, for me, I never thought I'd build a temple. I had an encounter. I don't know what, I don't want to talk about it. Something happened in Mangalambige temple. I was there. Something happened. I encountered something. And I didn't even think that I'll come here, buy this property. And suddenly I realized there's a 100-year-old temple here, old temple. And it happens to be Amman temple. And somehow we just
female goddess.
Female goddess. And I'm just, she is building it. I'm just allowing it, so to say. I'm just supporting it. To me, it's like, how is this happening? After like 4 years, I'm like, am I making this up? I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it as my, it's my magic.
It's your blessing in this life to be forever surrounded by women.
I don't know whether I'll make that magical. That's my punishment for many lives. Right, Anba? Find more guys around.
They don't seem to last.
Yeah. The Anba last. Paul will last. Andrew will last. More guys. I'm just surrounded by female.
Did I fluster you there?
A little bit, madam. A little bit.
But okay, there's that fine line. How do we keep from becoming delusional?
Don't deny logic. Don't deny facts. Your magic must be grounded. Like let's say Anba is playing the music. We have 100 people are dancing to it. At least 80 are enjoying it. You're within reality. A magic that is delusional is egoistical. People can't see it. You alone see it, and you're forcing people to see it. Somebody thinks they are so beautiful. We are looking at them and going like, But then they force you to agree with them. That is egoistical. Magic is something, it has a universalness to it, Even though it might have mild delusion, but we give it to that person. So your reality is important too. If not, you are clinically delusion. You think you are something when you're not. But the surrounding, like I know a guy, at least in my younger days, who thinks he's a woman. To a large extent, I agree with him. Because his mannerism, his behavior, his temperament, he cries watching girl movies or something. I'm like,
Oh my God.
but he's a guy. But to a large extent, I think he believes he's a female and he is a female. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not. Delusion is ego. Ego thinks it's special, without grounding. Ego thinks it's special. Like somebody playing a music. For him, it's magical. At least one other person also say, I see it. Oh my God, that was a beautiful note. We felt it. So magical is not against logic. Magic is logic hasn't caught up. But it is in reality. It is here. Why I call it magic is science and senses have not yet caught up with it, like love. You cannot explain love because your system hasn't caught up with it. Love destroys everything. It's beyond your logic, beyond your senses. It is beyond something more. I don't think our brain is even capable of conceiving love. If you can explain love, that is not love. Love is something more. It doesn't care. But it has a seatedness in life. Seek magic, seek magic, seek magic. To the point of ridiculousness. I don't mind. Now, I was in Himalayas, we went. Were you there? I don't know that you were there. And they said, Shiva lives in the mountain. I'm like, of course. Somebody says, no, master, it's just a mountain. I said, shut the hell up. Leave it alone. No, it's not he lives in the mountain. The grandness, he sees it as Shiva. That magnificentness. You cannot take your eyes off, to the grandness of the mountain. To him, that grandness represents Shiva to him. I'm like, I'm with you. I'm with you. You don't need to be corrected. I join you.
But then why do you think there are people who want to tamp it down?
Jealousy. They are they are left brain idiots. They are only good with balance sheet. Their life is all about the bottom line. You know what I mean? They were made accidentally. Maybe the parents were grumpy when they were made. I don't know. There could be 1,000 reasons. There are enough fellas out there. If some guy loves a girl, there will be somebody saying, no, she's nothing much. Like, that guy sees something in her. Let him see. No. You must dismiss these people,
Yeah, like those kind of people that every time you say, I kind of feel something with this person. No, lah, they're ugly, they're this and that. That's my experience. So why do you have to take that away from me?
Yeah. And actually, they want you not to have magic because they might not have it. I've seen this, People who don't have magic, which means they were never loved or they never loved or they were never seen beyond a reason, tend to be very upset with people who have that. Imagine, sometimes I say, don't be angry with that fellow. Nobody loved that person for no reason at all. Nobody liked that person for no reason at all. He grew up just being a tool. Of course, such a person will be angry. He needs to prove there is no magic for him to survive being him or her. Imagine, people like you, people love you, people care about you. You are constantly celebrated. What about the people that nobody cares about? No, they just use them as a means to an end. What do you think that person's reality is? I'm having compassion for that. Of course, they need to bring it down. When I was growing up, I was not the best student in the school, but somehow I was popular. A lot of people liked me. I until today baffled why they liked me. They loved me. Do you know how much it disturbed many people? Those people did everything right. They went to school. They got good grades. They did everything according. Never spoke a bad word. They never got into a single fight. They have never visited the headmaster's office for reasons other than getting an award. I'm the guy who's a frequent visitor to the headmaster's office and I get into fights. But somehow, against that rule, people like me and love me. Of course, this guy is going to go crazy. He said, that's not fair. That is not logical. I had a martial art master out of 2,000 students, and I'm not a Malay. I'm an Indian. He loved me. When you're sick, it's in the first name he called was my name. I was like, what? Why did he love me? I don't know. I don't know. Magic. It's not because of my quality. He's always worried I get into fights. What about the person who don't have all that? You have family that love you. You have friends that love you. You have so many things that going for you. What about the people who don't have that? They have to dismiss you for their survival.
Yeah.
So have compassion to them too. Don't show off your magic so freely. That's why they say if you have wealth, don't flaunt it. Is that the word? Don't flaunt it. If you have many people that love you, there's a saying, if you love your wife, switch off the light at night when you sleep with her because the guards can be jealous. So be careful. There are people. But what I will tell for that people is find your magic. If you see somebody living a magical life, it means you have it too. What is preventing you from living that magic? It's like what I would say, celebrate, like what my masters taught me. Celebrate. You know what is celebration? Magic. Your birthday coming up, why would we celebrate your birthday?
It's the most important international holiday of the year. That's why.
Why, 27 years ago, your mother was in labor pain?
Excuse me, 28.
28 years ago, your mother was in labor pain. She had a C-section for you. And I probably finished off a carton of cigarettes sitting outside. But why do we celebrate? Hey, it's you. Celebrate. It's your magic. Come on. I think at the end of the day, we are going to ask ourselves, did we celebrate the other person's magic? Did we held the other person's magic? I think that's what love is, Love is, I don't deny your magic. I don't reduce you.
It's like so easy to identify it in a child, You can see immediately when you see them, they're so magical.
Because your logic cannot be applied.
And so if somebody's watching this and they're like, oh my gosh, I get it. I kind of get what you're saying, but I don't know how to identify that in myself. Where do I start?
Look in the mirror. Don't stop until you see your magic. It's an old meditational technique. On your mirror, sit until you look into your eyes and you see what you like to see. In the beginning, you won't like what you see because all the people's imprint of your logic. But keep looking until suddenly you see something about you and you go like, I like what I see. I like. Then you go out and that's what you introduce people, yourself to, not to your logic. People who know you must know your magic. I had a reputation when I was young. When I come home for the festival, my mother will say, festival has arrived. Because when I'm there, it's going to be, something will happen, something fun will happen. That was my magic. Now, what is your magic? What is the magic you bring? You have a magic to offer, Not just Rembrandt, Monet and Vermeer, not just iPhone or whatever. Everybody has a magic and that just could be a smile.
That's what I always think. I think it's just offering a little bit of that joy that you have. I was having a bad day once and I went to the cafe and I really wanted a sweet treat. And when I went there was just one left and I looked at the guy and I was like, is there only one left? And he was like, he just looked at me and he smiled. Yeah, we made it just for you. And obviously he didn't.
Yeah.
But when he said that, I was so touched. I think you could see that I was like, I need this now. I just need this right now.
But I think for you, who I think live a little bit magically, you have to sort out your logic too. Then you have the ground. So you ground yourself in logic so you can live your magic. Like the root goes deep, then the tree can flower. Because without that logic, you can fall. So I think to the audience, go ask everybody who knows you and ask them to tell you one thing magical about you. Like Anba's magic, he will show up, he will deliver. I don't have to worry.
He will edit it to so precisely and so perfectly.
And that's his magic. If you don't see that magic in Anba, then you miss it. I sometimes worry that he gets tight. He becomes a bit too logical. I'm like, hey, let it slide. But you know his logic. You know your mother's magic. You know Shalini's magic. You know so many people's magic. Like this place is magical. Even though a lot of logic gone into it. So ask someone to tell you, please tell me what is my magic. What is it about me that that you see is magical.
And do you think if they were unable, they are shy or scared to ask, could they ask themselves about the people in their
No,
lives?
stop being shy. I'm not making excuses. Stop being shy. If you can't ask verbally, send a text message. Tell, I need this. I heard this talk. Can somebody tell me my magic? If you don't have anybody, write to me. I don't know how you're going to write
You
to
can
me.
comment.
Huh?
Comment.
Sorry, and the
They can
comment.
comment.
And I'll give you some insight if there's a picture. Like I take photograph. You know what I take in my photography? I capture the magic, not the logic. I look for the magic in that person to show them. See, I paint for that reason. I paint onions and potatoes, not to just paint onion and potatoes. The magic. It is what, not to let the left brain dominate, but to allow the right brain to flourish. More than that, the prefrontal. Like for me, this temple, even though it's architecture, it's bowing to a magic. There is something more holding me. There is a field that takes care of me, loves me, nourishes me. It has to be so because I've survived for 4 billion years, 5 billion years as a human species. I think this is your subject more than mine, I think I'm a little bit of a logical, a bit of a scientist. You are the magical. And I think you yourself think that is not good. No. I think that's what you have to offer. You bring magic to things. And don't worry about the people who are worried about logic too much. And let this episode be an inspiration for everybody. Put that picture at the end, Anba.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a magical day. Bye.